Hi everybody, it's me, Crafty Witch, and welcome back. I received a email request from someone who just wanted me to do a video on familiars. So I know I touched a little bit on this in other different video. I think it was those spirit guide videos. So here goes. This is just my opinion. You could have a totally different opinion, and that's fine. There's a couple different trains of thought when it comes to familiars. One is it was a term that was coined by the church during the whole Inquisition and burning times and all that jazz, and pretty much anybody that got blamed for being a witch, if they happened to have a pet cat or a dog or whatever, that poor animal was often blamed for being a demon or one of the devil's henchmen, if you will, working for the devil type of thing, and happened to be like a gift from the devil to the witch sort of thing, even though it was probably just a family pet, right? And you need to remember that during this time they tortured people. They got people to name other people who were never witches to begin with, but if you're having being disemboweled or whatever, and they're demanding names, you'll probably start spitting out anybody's name and agree to whatever they tell you when you're being tortured, right? But anyway, so there's that line of thought that prior to that time there's no such thing as the witch's familiar per se. That was a term used by the church, and it damned both that pet and the witch, or the person that they blamed for being a witch. For the most part, the people that they killed weren't witches. But anyway, so there's that line of thought, right? The other line of thought is there are, in various cultures around the world, there were animal clans, right? And the Germanic clans, or families, or people rather, had animal clans at one time, as did other people throughout Europe, North America, you name it, right? A lot of names, were geared towards, animals and that type of thing. So some people felt that if you were part of an animal clan, that the teachings of that animal, that spirit of that animal protects you and guides you and that type of thing. And then the whole word, for instance, totem, I'm thinking about the Indians in the west coast of Canada, and probably into like Washington and the States and whatnot. The Haida Indians and all them, they had totem poles and things like that, and they would have raven and whale and different types of life, like animal life, right, represented on these poles. And then I think during the whole New Age movement, that word totem or whatnot was borrowed, and the idea was that we all have our personal animal totem or totems, and these are like the spirits of these animals or whatever. Like if you have a bear totem, it'd be like kind of like the spirit of the bear or whatever. And you can gain knowledge and wisdom and teachings and whatnot from this particular animal totem. And I think that goes back to the whole clan system at one time. But a lot of people haven't grown up with their clans or know about their clans, or it's been a couple thousand years and who knows what clan they're from. So then the whole concept of animal totems came into being, and people working with animals on a spiritual level to enhance that own person's spiritual evolution and spiritual growth, and help them along their path. Okay, so now a lot of people use the term animal totem. They also use the term familiar, and nowadays it's used to imply there's a couple different meanings. I've heard people refer to their pets as being their familiars, and it could be their familiars are their cat, their dog, and the two fish they have, kind of thing. Some people use it to refer to just having pets. Other people will use that term to refer to an animal that has come into their life, that has literally guided them on their own spiritual path. In that regard, I feel that the animal is, in essence, akin to a spirit guide, or perhaps your animal totem, or whatever the case might be, but it has manifested into physical form. It's here, it's living, it's breathing, and it has come into your life. So whereas your spirit guides are in the spirit world type of thing, this animal is here and now in the physical manifestation of whatever, and will guide you on your path, whatever your spiritual path is. So for me, there's a big difference between just having a family pet and then having like a familiar. And I don't like using the word familiar, but I'm going to use it just for the sake of simplicity right now. So that being said, I don't believe that we choose our familiars. I feel that they choose us, and they will come into our lives on their own accord, you know, or somehow, some way, all of a sudden, maybe, you know, you're given this little dog or kitten or whatever, and there's something wise beyond their years about this little animal, or whatever this animal is, right? But yeah, I think the important thing to remember is, you know, that type of animal is there, and it does guide you on your path. And, you know, perhaps it likes being with you during rituals. Perhaps, you know, he or she is always hanging around your magical supplies or your magical books or whatever, your book of shadows. For instance, I've got two cats, right? There's Lucky and Chance. Chance, I would consider him to be just a typical pet. I don't consider him to be a familiar, if you will. Lucky, on the other hand, is way different. Any kind of magical workings that I do, she's always beside me. My book of shadows, she loves to sleep on it all the time. She likes to perch on my altar whenever she gets the chance. So it's like anytime she can be around any kind of healing work, spell work, rituals, whatever, even meditation, she's got to be right there with me. And she comes on her own accord. Like, it's not like I call her to come and be with me. She just, you know, she's there, and she stays throughout the whole thing, right? So there's that aspect of it. And then there's other little things that she does that, you know, is just not typical cat behavior, if you will, right? So yeah, I would consider her to be like a guide that has manifested into physical form in the shape of a cat. Chance, on the other hand, is well, you know, he's just Chance. You know, I don't see him there. No, he's just Chance. But you know, some people feel that, you know, every pet that they own is a familiar. You know, that's their call, that's their choice. So I think it's an animal, a guide that has manifested into some sort of animal form, that has entered into your life in some way and is there to teach you and guide you along the way. And from the signs I've noticed with Lucky would be, you know, they want to be with you, they want to be at your side during rituals or spell work, that type of thing. Any kind of magical workings, they're drawn to that. I do know normally a lot of animals are drawn because of the energy and whatnot, but with Chance, he could care less. He, you know, he's doesn't stick around kind of thing. She's always putzing around in my magical tools. I have to be really careful when it comes to leaving out herbs or anything like that. So yeah, and there's a lot that I've learned from her. So yeah, that's just my opinion. And you know, if you happen to feel this really special bond with a particular animal that has come into your life, you know, meditate with that animal. You know, develop that spiritual relationship with them and take it from there. So that's pretty much all I have to say right now, because I'm over 10 minutes already. So we'll see you guys soon, and that's it for now. Ciao.